let me guess. You went on the spiritual path expecting butterflies and rainbows, and you ended up here. Lack of purpose. What's the point of all this? Let me try to help you out with that. So, I have in my hand a secret letter. So I got an Instagram DM. I recently came across your YouTube channel and really resonate a lot with your spiritual path and overall outlook on life. I've been on the spiritual path for about 5 years due to being extremely depressed, did Vipassana meditation, and it helped me become more mindful and not identify with my thoughts. Upon further on the path, I became interested in truth, enlightenment, psychedelics. Although they were profound experiences, but like you said, they were temporary experiences that faded. The spiritual rabbit hole influenced me to neglect my love and social life, as well as lost motivation to improve my material life too. 5 years in, I still sometimes feel depressed like I used to when I started this journey. Sometimes this pursuit feels like a waste of time. Interesting, a waste of time. It's really. Listen, man, I like you said, you've been following my journey, so you know that I can relate to this experience where I feel like if you're not careful on the spiritual path, you can have the unfortunate side effect of nihilism. Nihilism, basically not believing in truth. Nihilists believe that everything is relative, that there is no inherent meaning or purpose to this existence. We're just bacteria on a spinning rock in a vacuum of infinity. You're not alone, my friends. I feel ya. As do a lot of people who are watching this video, I'm sure. It's a very common pattern that we fall into, especially in this modern age where we have lack of purpose and meaning. To give you a little bit of hope, again, this is a very common pattern and experience. As long as you don't just stay where you are, which I guess, you've literally written a letter to me, so obviously you care about moving past this. It's not like you don't have purpose and it's like, oh well. Like, you might feel like this, but there's a deeper part of you that knows that that's BS. Now, in terms of finding meaning and purpose and all that kind of stuff, let me just save you a lot of time of searching. And that is, instead of trying to find your purpose or meaning and putting all this massive pressure that you have to fulfill, because time's ticking, instead focus on what you naturally excel at. We all have natural strengths and weaknesses, and when you double down on your strengths and you develop your skill and competence, then you start building confidence. And with confidence comes higher self-esteem. With higher self-esteem comes more energy, more life, right? You're more willing to do things, and then things start to kind of fall in place. And this, my friend, is one of the biggest traps of spirituality. Focusing too much on dissolving boundaries, killing your ego. And in certain contexts, of course, this can be a fantastic thing, but you still need boundaries. And when you go down that nihilistic route of apathy, your energy actually starts to deflate and deflate and deflate until you care less and less. But it's not caring from a place of power, it's not caring from a place of apathy. The more you empty your mind and try to scrub your personality clean until it just merges with the universe, the less space you're gonna have for your authentic self, and the more you're gonna fill up this space with other things. This is something I've talked about in the past, but I believe that if you're gonna empty your mind via meditation, make sure you fill it up, right? Like, you can pull out the weeds all you want, but if you don't plant it with specific flowers or vegetables or fruits or whatever you want to grow, the weeds are gonna come back. So it's no wonder that if you continuously just empty your mind and try to be detached to everything, like going full Buddha, but in the Western world, of course you're gonna lose purpose. Of course you're gonna lose a sense of purpose. Of course you're not gonna feel that nice warm meaning anymore. And also, just so you know, like, I don't want to just hound you like, oh look, you've gone the wrong path. Honestly, I think this is healthy to see. I do. I think that going through suffering, pain and turmoil is good for the human soul. And then you mix this whole situation with just being super scattered in your philosophy. Also, I want to be careful not to tell you to just go down another rabbit hole, go to another religion, but it's also just balance out your perspective. Like whatever you believe right now, if it's causing you suffering, like, the no meaning and purpose, go look at the opposite perspective. Try to reprogram yourself the other way, or at least balance out your mind instead of just continuously going down this route, because where you are right now is, obviously it's due to all your decisions that you made this far, but it's also your mentality. So are you willing to let go of your identity? And let's be real here. This world isn't exactly, sorry, it's just because, the government's spying on me, you gotta be careful. But you gotta be careful, because this world ain't exactly set up towards your optimization, especially if you're on a quest for truth, and enlightenment, and being free from your mental shackles. I get it, bro, I get it. And I went through many years of hopeless nights. But I'm here to tell you that there is always hope, and there absolutely is purpose. And it's not something that I have to just tell myself to make myself believe. It's like, I'm not going to get into it. Again, it's one of those things that, you got to unpack. And I'm not coming from the frame of trying to prove my belief system onto you. I'm just literally trying to help you, right? Have a conversation, bro to bro, or bro to sis. School, parents, pop culture, movies, hell, even your local cafe. It's all designed to program you to live a certain way, and that's as a consumer, and ultimately to not believe in God, and that's where the current culture is going. We're lacking meaning and purpose, and we wonder why we're so depressed and anxious. And it's getting worse. This is what's like insane, right? Because I was a lot more optimistic in terms of like 10 years ago, right? When I was like, yes, we're all going through the spiritual awakening. Yes, people are becoming more aware. We're becoming more conscious. The lies are getting exposed. Corruption is coming up to the light. This is fantastic. And it's like, yeah. But also, kind of, yeah. You know. Like, I know you know this. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is not to remind you once again how screwed up the world is, but it's more to be aware that, hey, most people don't have the best intentions for you. But doesn't mean you have to go full dark. Because I believe, anyway, that when you are in need, human kindness provides. Good is the ultimate force of this world. I think it's like light. I look at good like light. And just like light, doesn't matter how much darkness you throw at it, it cannot be overcome. The only way that light can be overcome by darkness is if you dim it yourself. And that's what people do. They dim their own light. They create mental shackles and prisons of their own identity. They think, oh, I'm this way. The world is like this. And they just go with the motions. And hey, if you have got an awesome, successful life where you're killing it, then yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Keep believing what you believe in. Keep walking your path. But if you're not, this is what I find very ironic about humans is that, and I don't know if humans were always this way, if we've been programmed to be this way in more modern times, but have you ever noticed why people identify so much with their pain? Like if they're depressed, or if they have a certain mental disorder, if they've got this or that. And then if you question or even try to help them with it, it's like, no, I have this. This is who I am. I'm depressed. I have a disorder, low serotonin. I need this. The doctor said so. It's just a loop. And it's like, dude, you yourself admit, like not you writing this letter, but this hypothetical person who's depressed and defending their identity. It's like, dude, you're depressed. Like you feel sad, you're low energy, your finances are decreasing. You can feel the pain, you're more angry. Like if you feel all these things, like why not just take a step back and be like, okay, well, all my life decisions and belief systems have led me to feeling like this. And you gotta ask, do I want to feel like this anymore? Yes? No? Like change through pain only happens when it's hit a wall, when it's like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have to go this direction. Now, what does this have to do with going down the rabbit hole, finding purpose and meaning and all this? Well, number one, it's being honest with yourself. It's self-analyzing, but in a non-judgmental way. It's knowing thyself. Like, listen, man, I would love to get into the universe right now, theology and God, the nature of reality, and go into metaphysics, and I absolutely will, as is the nature of this channel. But right now, I don't think that's helping you. You can pick up philosophy and theology in the future, and maybe I'll give some recommendations on where to start, but I think right now that's the least of your problems. It's like you need to know who you are. Work on your physical body. Don't try to find motivation. Just do things that make you feel better. Exercise, journaling, go see a mentor, a therapist, a coach. But that's basically your mission right now, is to know yourself. Where do you naturally excel at? Where do you naturally not very good at? And then you just build your competence, develop your skills, build your ego. Again, ego ain't bad. It's pride that's bad. It's when you overly attach to identities and cause harm to other people because of your emotional reactions instead of being grounded. Be the witness, not the thought, Know thyself. Journal. Exercise. I wish I had more profound advice for you, but the fact of the matter is you just need to just take a break from all the philosophy and spiritual stuff and maybe do the opposite of what you normally do. It's like George I forgot the episode on Seinfeld.
My name is George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
I'm Victoria. Hi.
But he basically starts doing the opposite of what he normally does, and his life just exponentially grows. It's actually a really profound episode, but most people just can't do the opposite of what they normally do because it's like, but that's not me. And it's like, yeah, well, is the current version of you the person you want to stick with the rest of your life? You gotta ask these questions. You gotta do an audit of your life. Who are your friends? Who are you hanging out with? Do you even have a goal of where you want to be in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? You don't have to be such a square about all this stuff either and be overly obsessed and overly organized. But I can only speak from experience and from someone who's gone down this nihilistic, dark rabbit hole, like beyond comprehension. It's not even like I don't think about it anymore. It's a non-issue. And it can be for you and for many people. It's not as simple as just doing one technique, but it's just the general direction of just working on yourself. Keep going. You'll be all right, man. Catch you next time.